Here are 10 questions that anyone should ask a potential telephone answering service. Very few answering services have any kind of procedural documentation. Too often, it's a hit or miss scenario that relies on the memories of a few key telephone service representatives, the people who actually process the calls. This is not a good situation when these employees leave the company. This quality control department does nothing but gauge quality of calls, so the telephone service representatives are paid by performance, which leads to the next question. At Centratel, TSRs can earn up to a 30% bonus on the quality of their work taking and delivering messages. Believe me, this makes an enormous difference in overall quality, as TSRs work relentlessly to provide perfect service. For answering service management, a 28-day billing cycle is a thinly disguised technique used to collect 13 billings per year from the customer rather than 12. With a 28-day billing cycle in use, the prospective client must ask, what other undercover billing methodologies or shortcuts are employed? And regarding pay-by-the-minute services, the pay-by-the-minute answering service makes more money the longer your caller is held on the line. Not a good thing for your callers, and not a good thing for you. Look for a pay-by-the-task service. If the owner is involved directly in operations, you may be dealing with a small company with limited resources. Or, at the other end of the spectrum, you may be dealing with a huge company in which owner input is strategically focused on the bottom line and profits and not on operations. Especially beware of absentee owner answering services. A too small answering service has 200 or less clients. A too large answering service has 2,000 or more clients. Are they paid good wages and full benefits, including a health insurance plan? If not, count on staff turnover. And staff turnover is the worst enemy of high quality. Be cautious of services that employ part-time TSRs. Part-time TSRs are not as committed or experienced as full-time professionals. Is it readily available to you for inspection? Or is it kept under wraps? Is it spacious and comfortable? Not closed, cramped, and lifeless, with a boiler room atmosphere? At Centratel, for instance, the telephone answering service operations department is the center of the office, with administrative offices located around the periphery. This is incredibly important. Is drug testing mandatory for employment? Is there random testing on all TSRs? Is there an employment termination on the first violation policy? This is critical. You must employ an answering service that does job entry drug testing and then no less than 3 drug tests during a 12-month period. I can't overemphasize the importance of this. In an answering service, an operation where frequent, critical, and often emergency message taking and delivery is performed, you must have drug testing. Within the industry, this is the key indicator of quality. At Centratel, the error rate averages 1 reported error per every 10,000 messages processed. It is common for us to handle calls for a client for 5 to 10 years without a single error. If your potential answering service won't talk about this statistic, be cautious. Do you sense that all aspects of the operation are readily discussed and that the people who handle the calls are treated by management as the #1 asset of the service? Does the new answering service that you are considering offer a full 30-day free, no-obligation trial? And this, must you sign a long-term contract? That's not what you want. Look for a service that works for you on a month-to-month basis so you can leave on short notice if there are problems. Don't get locked in. And one other thing, make sure you don't have to pay an activation fee.